She walked away. Maybe she ghosted you, maybe she gave you some excuse about needing space, or maybe she just flat out said it was over. But now, she's back. So what the hell do you do? Most men screw this moment up. They either fall right back into her arms out of desperation or let their emotions cloud their judgment. But there's a smarter way, a stoic way. And if you understand what's really going on behind her return, not only can you protect yourself, but you can also flip the script completely. You're about to find out exactly how to do that. She left, didn't she? One day everything felt real, deep, maybe even unshakable, and the next she was gone. No more texts, no more calls, no more little check-ins just to hear your voice. It's like she vanished from your world, and for a while you didn't even know what hit you. But now, after all that silence, all that distance, after all the emotional chaos she left behind, she's back. Whether it's a random message, a subtle Instagram like, or a direct, "Hey, I was just thinking about you." She's resurfacing. And the real question is this: what the hell do you do now? Most guys mess this part up, badly. They get caught in the storm of emotion. They either jump at the chance to reconnect, trying to relive the past and force back the closeness that's long gone, or they go full cold, trying to flex power and act like they don't care, but deep down they're still shaken. See, the thing about a woman coming back after she left you isn't really about her. It's not about what she's thinking, what she's planning, or what she feels now. It's about you. It's about how you respond. Because this moment right here, this unexpected return, it's a test of your growth, your control, and whether you've learned to operate from a place of strength or a place of weakness. You have to understand something. When a woman leaves and then comes back, it's never just random. There's always a reason. Maybe she's lonely. Maybe the guy she left you for didn't work out. Maybe she started missing the way you made her feel. Not necessarily missing you, but missing the attention, the stability, the emotional safety you gave her. Or maybe she realized she can't do better, and now she wants to re-enter your life before you level up and move on for good. Either way, what you do next is everything. This is where most men either reclaim their power or lose it forever. Now I want you to think about this. What changed between when she left you and now? What did she actually lose when she walked away? If the answer is not much, then her return isn't a compliment. It's a convenience. You can't let nostalgia or leftover feelings blur your judgment. This isn't a movie. This is your reality. If a woman can walk away from you once, thinking she can return whenever she feels like it, then what she's saying without words is simple. You are always an option. And let me tell you, the moment a man allows himself to become a revolving door, he's done. Because now, your value isn't in who you are, it's in your availability. And that's not respect, that's utility. But here's where Stoicism kicks in. A man who understands Stoicism doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't chase closure, and he doesn't jump into old emotions because of temporary loneliness or old memories. He observes, he listens, he stays calm. A Stoic man recognizes this moment as a gift, not because she's back, but because he now gets to choose. It's not about revenge. It's not about proving her wrong. It's about holding power, being centered, and not letting anyone, not even her, shake that internal peace. Think about how strong you had to be to survive after she left. The nights where your chest physically ached, where sleep didn't come easy, where you overanalyzed every detail wondering what went wrong. You endured that. You grew from that. You didn't just move on. You transformed. You built yourself up from the ashes. And now she wants access again? That's not a compliment. That's a checkpoint. And you get to decide if she has earned that access back. That's the power you hold now. But power isn't loud. It's not arrogant. It's not about rubbing it in her face that you're doing better. Real power is quiet. It shows in your posture, your tone, your decisions. When she comes back, don't explain yourself. Don't interrogate her about where she's been or why she left. Don't try to pick up where things left off. Instead, give her space to show you her intentions. Watch her actions. Does she actually want to rebuild something real? Or is she just testing the waters, trying to see if she still has access to your energy? If she feels entitled to your time without earning it, She hasn't changed. And if you let her in too easily, she'll never respect you, because you're teaching her that leaving you comes with zero consequences. There's this uncomfortable truth most people won't admit. Sometimes women come back not because they miss you, but because they miss winning. They miss the version of you who made them feel adored. They miss the control. They miss how predictable your affection was. And if you haven't changed, if you're still that same guy waiting with open arms, she'll walk right back into your life like nothing ever happened, only to do it all over again when it suits her. You become a cycle, a pit stop, a familiar emotional safety net she can rely on when her other options fail. That's not love. That's manipulation dressed up in sweet words and fake vulnerability. But if you've truly grown, if you've found your strength, rebuilt your self-worth, and found peace in your own presence, then her return won't shake you. It won't excite you, and it won't hurt either. It'll just be a moment, a message, a test of everything you said you've become. And if she doesn't come back with something real, something meaningful, then you don't entertain it. Not out of hate. Not out of bitterness, but out of discipline. That's the Stoic way. You don't punish her. You don't guilt trip her. You simply stand in who you are now, calm, unshaken, grounded. That quiet strength alone will tell her everything she needs to know, that you're no longer the man she left behind. You're not just the same guy, hoping to get her back. You're someone who knows what he brings to the table, and someone who will never again beg to be chosen. See, the crazy part is this. When a woman senses that you're not the same anymore, when she feels that you've detached, that you're no longer orbiting around her, that's when the game changes. That's when her curiosity starts growing again. It's not because she suddenly realizes how amazing you were. It's because the emotional leash she once had on you has snapped, and that invisible power dynamic she used to control is gone. Women aren't attracted to desperation. They're not drawn to the man who keeps proving his worth, chasing validation, or begging for clarity. They're drawn to mystery, to presence, to the man who's so secure in himself that he doesn't flinch when she leaves or smile too wide when she returns. When she left you, whether she said it directly or not, she was betting on something better. She thought she could upgrade, move on, find a new spark. And that's fine. Everyone has a right to explore their options, but understand this clearly. When someone leaves your life voluntarily, especially when you were all in, they're placing a bet against you. They're saying, I think there's something better out there than you. So when she comes back, that doesn't automatically erase what happened. It doesn't delete the hurt, the confusion, the growth. She's not entitled to a clean slate. If she wants one, she has to earn it. But here's the trap. A lot of guys, the moment she reappears, start trying to win her back. They flip the script completely. Instead of sitting in the seat of power and asking themselves, do I even want her back? They instantly think, what can I say to keep her this time? That's backwards. She's the one who left. She's the one trying to re-enter. Why are you doing the work? That's not how strong men move. A strong man doesn't just react to attention. He doesn't get excited over breadcrumbs. He doesn't chase a ghost from the past, hoping to feel alive again. A strong man observes. He protects his peace. He asks the hard questions, not to her, but to himself. Is this aligned with the man I've become? Is her return based on love, or is it based on loneliness? Does she genuinely regret what she did, or is she just uncomfortable with me moving on? You don't need to say any of this out loud. You just need to see clearly. This is where Stoicism becomes your shield. When she reaches out, your first instinct might be to dive back in, to relive the old memories, to feel that spark again. But Stoicism teaches you to pause, to not get emotionally hijacked, to sit with your feelings before you act. That doesn't mean you have to be cold. It means you need to be conscious. You don't owe her warmth. You don't owe her access. And you certainly don't owe her the man you've become, unless she's showing up with the kind of consistency, clarity, and humility that proves she's changed too. If she sends you a "Hey stranger" text, don't get hyped. That's not depth, that's bait. And if you take it, without letting her show you more, you're falling right back into the trap. Women who truly regret losing you don't send lazy messages. They open up, they take accountability, they show consistency, and they don't expect you to make it easy. Now let's be real. There's a part of you that probably still wants her. Maybe not even the actual person, but the connection you had, the comfort, the familiarity. That's normal, but don't confuse nostalgia for love. Don't let the history blind you to the reality. Just because you shared moments doesn't mean those moments are worth repeating. Sometimes her return is just life testing you to see if you've really leveled up, or if you're still willing to go backward for a temporary high. Look at her behavior now, not the words. Is she consistent? Is she transparent? Is she respecting your time and energy? Or is she breadcrumbing you with just enough to keep you emotionally available while she explores her other options? If she's vague, hot and cold, or unwilling to put in real effort, let her go, again. This time, not from a place of heartbreak, but from clarity, because you now understand your value isn't proven by how many chances you give. It's proven by how well you protect your peace. There's something powerful in being the man who doesn't need her to come back. You're not waiting for her. You're not plotting revenge. You're just living. And if she comes back, you're not moved. You're not shaken. You're not over-explaining. You're watching, calm, clear, firm. That alone is enough to throw her off, because she expected the old you, the one who'd jump, the one who'd get emotional, but now she's facing someone different. Someone who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't react, and that's the version of you she can't manipulate. The truth is, if she really respects you, she'll feel your distance. If she truly wants something real, she'll show it with effort, not confusion. She'll offer clarity, not games. And if she doesn't, then your silence will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Because silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the presence of strength. It's you saying, without saying, I'm not here to be recycled. You don't need to make a dramatic exit. You don't need to ghost her, curse her out, or post quotes about healing. You just stop showing up. You stop responding to low-effort energy. You stop giving away your presence like it's cheap, because it's not. Your time, your attention, your presence, those are gifts. And once you learn to treat them that way, the right people will start showing up differently. The man who's truly grown doesn't need to prove that he's changed. He just lives differently. She'll feel it in the way you pause before replying, in how you don't drop everything the moment she calls, in how you don't jump to ask her out again. It's in your calm, your silence, your focus on yourself. You're not cold. You're just not available in the same way anymore. She may not understand it at first. It'll confuse her. She'll wonder where the old version of you went. But that confusion is necessary. It's how she learns that walking away has consequences. People always say, if it's meant to be, it'll come back. But here's what they never add. Even if it comes back, it doesn't mean it still fits your life. Not every full circle moment deserves a welcome back party. Sometimes when someone returns, it's not to build something new. It's to see if they still have power over you. And your job is to make sure they don't. Not out of spite, but out of respect for how far you've come. There's something very sobering about looking at a person you once wanted badly and realizing you don't need them anymore. Not because you hate them, not because you want them to suffer, but because you finally see the situation for what it was and what it wasn't. You see the patterns, the red flags you ignored, the way you lost yourself trying to hold on. And more importantly, you see who you are now. You're not reacting out of fear. You're not trying to avoid being alone. You're choosing peace. That's not weakness. That's evolution. So when she comes back, do not panic. Do not rush. Let her show her cards. A woman who truly wants to be in your life again will not play games. She won't try to test you. She won't breadcrumb you or keep you on standby while she figures herself out. She'll come with effort, consistency, and clear intention. Anything less is just noise. And noise is not something you should be entertaining when you've worked hard to build peace in your life. And even if she does all the right things, even if she says everything you once wished she'd say, remember this: talk is cheap. Words don't mean a thing without action. So sit back and observe. How does she treat your time? Does she respect your boundaries? Is she willing to rebuild trust without demanding immediate access to your heart? Because if she left once, and she truly regrets it, she should come back willing to do the work to prove that she values what she lost. Now let's flip this for a second. Let's say she comes back and she's showing signs of real change. She's open, consistent, taking accountability. She's not just texting out of boredom or loneliness, she's showing you that she sees your value now. Cool. But even then, don't just go all in. Take it slow. Let her earn her place back in your life. Because once you give someone a second chance, you're not just picking up where you left off. You're rewriting the entire dynamic. And if she's not willing to meet your new standard, she doesn't belong in your new chapter. This is where emotional discipline matters more than ever. Most guys fail at this part. They get a little bit of affection back, and suddenly they forget the hurt, the silence, the confusion they went through. They forget the nights they stayed up overthinking, the days they spent questioning their worth. Don't do that. Don't romanticize her return. Be honest with yourself. Is this real change or just temporary emotion? Because if you ignore that, you'll end up stuck in a cycle. Break up, make up, break up again. And that's not growth. That's self-betrayal. You've got to understand something. Women respect men who respect themselves. If you let her walk all over your boundaries just because she said the right words, she'll lose respect for you again. Not intentionally, but because subconsciously, she'll realize you don't even value yourself enough to stand firm. And when that happens, the dynamic resets, and you're right back where you started, chasing, wondering, losing yourself. This whole thing isn't just about whether she comes back or not. It's about who you are when she does. Are you the same guy she left? Or are you the man who took that pain, sat with it, learned from it, and leveled up? That's the real test. Because how you handle her return will either reinforce your growth or reveal that it was all just a performance. There's something powerful about being in a position where you can have her again, but you no longer need to. That's the moment you know you've won. Not because you got her back, but because you got yourself back. Your clarity, your peace, your power. And at that point, you're not even deciding whether she deserves you. You're deciding whether you even have room for her anymore. That's strength. That's stoicism. That's what makes you dangerous. Not in a toxic way, but in a grounded, centered way that says, I don't chase, I attract, and I only keep what adds value. So if she comes back, sure, have the conversation. Listen if you want to, but don't act out of emotion. Don't get sucked into the fantasy. Take your time. Let her show you who she is now. Let her actions reveal her true intentions. And most importantly, check in with yourself. Do I still want this? Or am I just responding to the comfort of familiarity? Because growth will make you outgrow people you once thought you'd never live without. And sometimes, the real win is realizing you're okay without the very thing you thought you needed to survive. And that's the craziest part, isn't it? How the pain that once broke you becomes the reason you became unbreakable. How the silence she left you in became the space where you found yourself. You start to realize that she didn't just walk out. She handed you the keys to something much deeper: self-respect, inner strength, clarity. And once you get those things, once you've truly felt the difference between chasing someone and choosing yourself, it's almost impossible to go back. See, a lot of people get scared when someone from their past shows up again. It brings back the emotions, the memories, the what-ifs. But here's the truth most people don't say out loud. Just because you still feel something for her doesn't mean you should act on it. Feelings are not instructions. You can acknowledge the emotion without surrendering your power to it. That's what Stoicism looks like in real life. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about caring without losing yourself. And maybe she genuinely regrets leaving. Maybe she had to lose you to understand what you brought to her life. That's real. That happens. But even then, her realization doesn't mean you have to let her back in, because time doesn't erase damage. Growth doesn't undo the past. It just helps you learn from it. So ask yourself, even if she means it now, do I trust her again? Do I even want to try? Or is this closure disguised as a second chance? When you've done the work, when you've faced your own pain and rebuilt yourself, you're no longer led by fear of losing someone. You're led by values, by standards, by peace. So if someone wants to come back into your life, they have to match that peace, not disturb it. They have to meet you at your new level, not drag you back into the past. And if they can't do that, then it doesn't matter how much they say they miss you. You don't build a future with someone who still reminds you of the old you. The cold truth is, most people only return when they feel your absence. Not your value, your absence. They miss the attention, the comfort, the validation. But you're not responsible for filling someone else's emptiness, especially if they once made you feel like you weren't enough. That's not your job. Your job is to protect your peace, to preserve your energy, to keep becoming the person you were always meant to be, even if it means walking away from someone you once thought was the one. Let's be real. The version of her that comes back might be different, but the version of you that stayed and grew, he's evolved. He doesn't operate from desperation anymore. He doesn't need external approval to feel worthy. He's calm, focused, in control. And that version of you doesn't just let anyone walk back in, not without proving they belong. Because now, your time is valuable. Your love is valuable. Your presence is a privilege, not a given. So if she comes back, don't gloat. Don't rub it in her face. That's ego. Just stay grounded. Be kind, but don't bend. Be open, but don't get attached to the idea of what could be. Let her talk. Let her explain. Let her try. But you don't have to decide anything right away. Because this time, the power isn't in her hands. It's in yours. And sometimes the strongest move isn't taking her back. It's realizing you've outgrown the story altogether. There's a quiet kind of strength in not reacting, in letting time and truth do the talking. She'll see the difference in you. She'll feel the shift. And whether she stays or goes again, you'll be fine. Because you're not chasing anymore. You're choosing. And that changes everything. So don't worry about what to say or how to act if she comes back. Worry about staying true to who you've become. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Let your growth speak louder than your words. And no matter what happens, remember this. You didn't lose her. You found yourself. Watch the next video.